Thank you very much, sir, and, for this once again opportunity to respond to the honorable member's sentiments after you gave me an opportunity to express what I established preliminary out of the content of the complaint written by a lawyer representing Honorable Malala. Now, what I can say is truth is very stubborn. Today, as perhaps some of you may have felt, DCI is perhaps want to save his officers, so he's not saying the truth. Tomorrow, I'll be again with you, God willing, and you're the same person who will confront me. If I say honestly from the bottom of my heart that as per now, for the little preliminary investigations which I established, I don't know this. This is what I'll stand with before myself and before God. And remember, sir, when we go to court, we are the police officers. We are the people who raise up our Bibles and Qurans and other respective religious materials to take an affirmation that what we are going to say is the truth and nothing but the truth until you finish the proceedings of the matter. That is before court. Now, that's why I'm actually committing myself. Sir, other than the content which we were given and which through his kindness actually he really asked whether I received. You are very kind to that, at least because now I'm aware of what I'm going to respond. And we're even willing to give me a copy in the event I never received. Sir, I said I've received it. And here it is, and I went through the content. Other than the content, sir, which I've actually, trying to explain to this honorable committee, responding to each and every item, though I never even went to the description of the firearms of these officers, the way we have even withdrawn some firearms like pistols too, and then armed again with the scorpions, some machine gun to the same officers. I did not even go to that, sir, because even I say I'm going to waste your time explaining some things which I said, so that the imagination. Because even you see, even what they are describing, the scorpions of machine gun, that it is more considerable, it is the easiest to harm a police perhaps who is just moving around, either on this way to do, the current allegation of assassination, as opposed to a pistol, a Seska, of which all of you I know, all of you are armed people, and you know so much about firearms and ammunition, which is a lie. Between a pistol, sure, a Seska, and even arming an officer, even a scorpion, we have arms movement, which actually can be scrutinized how our arms do move from which officer to which officer and for which purpose. And when I said, sir, and I still stand with it, we don't have just an officer in the DCI, neither in the Special Service Unit. And that is the fact I stand up to now. And then what the new evidence are, which Honorable Malala has shown me about the photographs, yes, I don't know whether he has shared with anybody else here other than myself. He has shown me 3 men. And another thing, to be very correct, maybe, yes, they could have been officers. I can't say they could not have been officers. Or maybe even they are, but myself as Kinoti, the DCI, may not even have seen them, neither the Inspector General. What we are trying to say is, you asked me, have you seen them? I said no. But if they're existing, that even what I said from the instant, even if it's an ID parade, we are ready to do. Whichever way, sir, we are going to guide this investigation because they are very serious. Whichever way we are going to guide, let this matter be subjected to absolutely independent investigation. And I really thank Honorable Wetengura, sir. Thank you for having confidence in us that even if we are to investigate, perhaps we can bring findings here. Findings to bring to church a committee. We know wherever we are, we know it's not something small. We know the kind of people we are dealing with, brains and wisdom and experience. And I bring a fiction or an imagined investigation to this committee. Surely, do you think I'll be ready even to leave this door? It is something which we shall be able to account for one by one, if not line by line. So as we shall be guided and we stand guided, sir, if whichever way these investigations are going to be carried, the way we shall be guided, we are ready to submit ourselves 100%. And please monitor the way we are going to accord any assistance to this investigation, since now we are the people now who have been accused, and then subject ourselves to the investigation. We are ready for that, sir.
Chair, just one thing. Chair, just there is one thing that Mr. Kinoti is not pointing out. Members have asked pertinent questions, and more specifically on the arrests of the 3 senators. Did you know, or did you give instructions to your officers to come and arrest me? And what was the offense?
No. Simple.
Yes. And did I send you a pin to come and arrest me? Did I collude with your officers to come and arrest me? Because this matter has been the public domain. We've seen senior officers or senior citizens of this country, politicians, claiming that we colluded with your office to come and arrest me. So I want this matter to be clear and to be on record.
IG and DCI. You know, this House takes these 2 committees seriously. If you look at the composition, the chair here is a long-serving provincial administrator within your command chain. To my right, at the back, is our long-serving former Attorney General of this republic, longest serving. My colleague, Senator Wetangula, is a long-serving cabinet minister. If I give you the CV, these are serious Kenyans, and it's for good measure. What you are being told by Senator Malala is that Article 244 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya states that the National Police Service shall, 1, strive for the highest standards of professionalism amongst its officers. Number 2, it shall comply with constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms. And finally, that it will observe the highest standards of competence, integrity, and to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms and the dignity of Kenyans. Senator Malala is alleged to have committed an offense of failing to comply with COVID-19 protocols, which were actually approved by this House. Now, the question when IG, DCI, that members are asking, was it commensurate with the offense, 1, to send 20 officers at 3 a.m. to arrest Senator Malala, despite the threats of COVID-19? You bundle him into a Subaru vehicle, drive him all the way to Mumias, keep him in the cold. He's a human being. He's not even a senator. He's a human being. We forget about his title and his status. And I'm also speaking as a human being. And you're also a human being. Everybody here, we are human beings. You keep him in the cold till morning. And to make matters worse, he's taken to court and he's told there is no offense. No court even appearance. Now, we're having a conversation here. And what we want you to tell this committee, because there is nothing personal against you, there is nothing personal against IG. If anything, we have tremendous respect for all of you, you too. And we have shared this. I even told you. Now, what we want to understand, who is this officer in the chain of command who extended that mistreatment to Senator Malala? And we want that to go on record before this committee so that we table a report before the Senate. I think that's what the members want to hear from the two of you. And it's not too much to ask.
I move, Chair.
I think because of the respect and seniority, I had seen Senator Amos Wako. I think you had something you wanted to add. Then please, we allow them to respond. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I want to rest in the assurance of the DCI that this matter will be thoroughly investigated and, if necessary, by an independent investigator like IPOA. I want to rest in that assurance. Mr. Chairman, but I wanted to raise issues of policy. Number one, I would like to know, as my chair has said, whether there was any order and at what level within the police force to arrest Malala and to arrest other senators who are involved in this. Was there any such order? And at what level? And did it emanate from one source? Or did it emanate from different sources? Because the way I understand it is that the Bomet senator was required to be in Bomet, the senator of Samburu was required to be there. The senator of Kakamega had done a few things in Kakamega. So I want to know whether it was from one source and at what level. And if it was at different sources, in other words, your officers in the various counties where these people are required were acting sort of independently. I want to know how it became a coincidence that senators required in 3 counties by officers in those counties for what they had done in those counties were required on the same night to go to those counties. I just want to know. Now, if there was some coordination, I want to know whether that coordination was a coincidence again, or was it not? I'm raising it as a policy issue because I do remember at one time we were involved with something like this, but we allowed the officers of the counties to do their own thing and in their own timing without any sort of promptings from the central authority. And if there was that prompting from the central authority, what was the motivation? I would like you to investigate that. But more seriously, you have the powers of arrest. Are you, and I would like to believe, IG, that, in fact, I know that you are a reformer. Has this incident prompted you and the DCI and other senior officers to see if you can review your policies as regards arrests? Because from what we have seen, the methods of arrest were disproportionate to the offenses caused. I'm quite sure, and I know all the 3 senators involved, if they'd just been told by your officers in the counties, please come, we want you, they would have gone without any problem at all. There would have been no need to cause the arrests that were done simultaneously on the same day. So I need to know. Now, if it was a coincidence, then I will need to know if you have a policy in which such serious coincidence can take place without the central authority knowing. Because if the central authority knows it, then because of the repercussions it can have on the law and order in the country as a whole, then the central authority would have said, do not do it on the same day. So does it mean that these different orders, by coincidence, it happened, and there was no policy in which the central authority can identify that such is going to happen, so that the central authority can put a stoppage to it? I hope I've made myself clear on that one. The other one is that I think it's not just for members of parliament, but for everybody. Review how you arrest. It must be commensurate with the offense, as my learned senior has stated. And it must also be, you must take into account what you are arresting. Not just for senators. I don't want a particular claim for honorable members of parliament. But the fact that they are honorable, it means unless you have misbehaved dishonorably by shooting and so on, blah, 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 then, of course, you can use the force that you used to arrest them. But honorable officers, law-abiding citizens of this country, who have not done, and other law-abiding citizens of this country, who have not done anything very offensive, and so on, surely there's no need to use the strong force to arrest such persons, and at night, and so on. But obviously, if somebody is a well-known robber, a well-known shooter, and so on, yeah, that's possible. But just for a law-abiding citizen, I would like to believe that the honorable members of parliament, unless otherwise proved, are law-abiding citizens, there's no need to have carried out that. And the fact that it happened may very well mean there's no policy. And I would like the IG particularly, and the DCI, to put into account such a policy. And you may find it in your archives around 1996. I attempted to put such a policy in effect. But obviously these arrests don't take into account the policy I had put down as an advisory to the police. I thank you.